Yes, I'm gonna go live. I see subject was already lurking, waiting. Just waiting for me to hit the stream button. Sup. But yeah, this will be fun. Oh my fucking god, what the fuck is the name of this fucking song? Oh my god. I literally got another Stream Beats playlist that was called Neko. But the first song on the playlist is Call Me Daddy. Interesting. Hello, Angry. Hello. But yeah. I'll wait for a few more people to join and then we can discuss Japan. Yeah. So how is everyone today? Remember when Daddy was cute way for a child to refer to that? Yeah, and now it's not. Hello, Lita. How are you? Chillin'. Cool. We'll see if we have time for Mario Kart today. We'll see. But first, it's talking about Japan. I have everything organized. I should, at least. You're eating a sandwich and it's bussin'. Nice. Hello, Leviathan. How are you? Mario Kart? Well, not yet. But maybe. Maybe if we have some. Yeah, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. For 30 months. Damn. Thank you. Is eager for the races? Yeah, I saw. Yeah. You're doing good? That's good. It isn't my favorite artist. Actually, hope your day. How goes your day today? Good. Pretty well. We went to the post office. I dropped off some orders. Although I got a new one, so I don't have the stuff for it because I left all my artist stuff at my parents'. And then I accidentally made the wrong button for another order, but I don't have to send it out until like the 26th, so I'm okay. I just have to make the button and then send it out. But yeah. What does this button do? Yeah, rage. It just plays sound clip. But yeah. What else did I do? We got food. And then I was eating food and watching shit, and then I was going through my phone charms. I didn't take pictures yet, but I organized them, made them like more compact, so the organization looks good now for it. But yeah, that's basically what I did today. Still have to do product pictures, but eh. Oh, and I also calculated out like how much card sales I made at Anime Riverside. I actually did pretty well considering like I wasn't there, so I was surprised with the numbers that I made. Especially since like cash sales were really low. I was surprised that like card numbers were so high. So yeah, it's good. But how are you, Cyber King? I'm seeing that Microflyer heard that there's a new update tonight of Concerns version. My mistake. He did a noble. Kiwi's here? Yeah, the Kiwi's always here. Well, most of the time. A lot of the time. Paul's told me to leave. So I stay here. Why did he say to leave? What the fuck? What did you do, subject? There's no shrimp on the Barbie, what the fuck? There should be. There is a sound alert shrimp on the Barbie. I can't hear sound alerts, you can't? You announced my stream? Wow, damn. Toxic, damn. You didn't hear it. That's so weird, because I hear it. I don't know why you don't. Maybe that? Let me see.
Damn!
Okay, you were able to hear that though, right?
Put this.
Heard that. Okay, I changed it. Okay. Okay, so that's good. You guys can hear that then. Well, shall we get into it, I guess? Maybe? I don't know. That too? Okay, you guys can hear it now. Okay. When you play Mario Kart again, you should have the Mario Kart popcorn maker in the corner. Nah, it's Noble's. This is not mine. I wanted to buy the Gojo popcorn holder, but they didn't have it anymore, so. Did the shrimp on the Barbie sound alert break? It shouldn't. Here. Should come soon. Soon.
Shrimp on the Barbie.
Yeah, there you go. See? It works. It works. This is further down. Now it worked. I might have to turn these off though during the talking, because I was thinking maybe making a video on it, but I don't know. We'll see. At least like maybe TikToks. I don't know. I mean, I could technically just record it myself, I guess. Could do that too. Yeah, I might just do that. Then I can actually record in TikTok format and not have to rechange shit. Oh. But yeah, okay. So, where do we begin? I guess the flight to Japan. So, I made this document. It had much more information on it, but I took out the information that was important. So, on the 17th, at around 2, our flight left from LAX. Wow. I should be making a video. Ah, yeah. So, we left. And then we arrived after, I think it was like 10-hour flight. Yeah, I was organized. I did all the planning. Noble did nothing. He didn't help with anything. He was just like, I want to go to Tokyo. He wants to see the One Piece statues. And he said the hotels have to have a table or a desk there. And that's all I did. I sent him all the stuff, all the hotels for confirmation. And yeah. Noble paid for shit? Yes. Well, he paid for the flights and the Studio Ghibli ticket. Everything else I paid for, basically. Except for food. Food was like, we both paid for food. And then he gave me some money for transportation, like 3,000 yen. Because I couldn't get any cash anymore from the ATMs. Because my bank was like, nah, you aren't allowed to get any more cash withdrawals this payment, so. What a lazy bone. What else did you expect? What else do you expect? But yeah, so we flew from LAX to Narita Airport. We landed around like, it wasn't, this was our like time that it said we were gonna be there, but we were actually there at like 16:35, so we like arrived really early. Same with the flight back, we arrived like almost an hour early, which was interesting. So yeah, so I guess the first pictures, this is flying into Narita Airport. You can see all the rice fields. It was very pretty. Fun, thank you so much for the follow. Hello, hello, welcome. What a lazy bum. So yeah, we flew in. There was that. It looked really pretty, but there was a lot of like clouds everywhere and stuff, and it was getting dark. So like by the time we left the airport, it was dark outside. And this is like when you go to baggage claim. It was like, welcome to Japan. And it was all Mario. And I was like, ooh, yes, yes. Excited. So there's that. I would have had, so we then at the airport, once we went through everything, we went to pick our pocket Wi-Fi, which it was at like one of the terminal things. You can call me Tristan. Okay. His name is literally, I don't know what people like to be called, okay? I'd rather have people tell me what they want to be called. Bank was like, Sag, no more money for you. Well, like, I was able to spend money. It's just I wasn't able to do any ATM money withdrawals. My bank, since it's a credit card that I was using, since it's like a travel credit card, so I didn't have any like fees or anything using it abroad. But what do I want to say? But yeah, I have a $250 limit on how much like cash I can withdraw from ATMs, so that was, yeah. And since Japan uses a lot of cash for like food and transportation, the machines, they have a slot for you to put in your credit card, but they won't let you use your credit card. They want you to use cash. So that was a little bit, yeah. Just don't call me Shirley. Okay, sure. Even though I'm Cyber King, Cyber is sufficient for me. Okay, sounds good. But yeah, so we picked up the pocket Wi-Fi. We then headed to the Keisei Skyliner. That's what it was. And so it's basically like a fast train. It stops at 2 stops. The one that we got out was the last one, so in Ueno, where our hotel was. So yeah, train took about like 40-ish minutes to get to our hotel since Narita Airport. So Narita Airport is over here, right? And then our hotel, this was the first one. So yeah. We had to, the line basically went here and then here, so yeah, it was pretty fun. I don't understand why Japan doesn't like her. I don't know either. Like they had a lot of tap to pay. I'll give them that. So a lot of places did accept credit card now and like contactless payments, but there's still like some parts and some places that just don't want it. So yeah. So we got to the hotel where we had free breakfast. Well, not free breakfast. The breakfast we paid for ahead of time. So it was like in the cost of the hotel, basically. I would say This hotel was like the best probably out of all the hotels that we stayed at. So if you ever want like a cheaper option hotel that is like a huge chain hotel, I would say go with APA hotels. This was just like a really cheap hotel, but like, well, cheap kinda. It was still as expensive as our entire week in Tokyo for the other hotels. So it's like But yeah, I would recommend staying, especially at this one. If you're getting the breakfast, they had like a really nice restaurant next to it. So it's a restaurant during the day, and then during the morning they serve breakfast for the hotel, and it was really good. So I would recommend. Were the rooms nice or small? They were small. So all the rooms that we stayed in were very small. All the bathrooms were very small. But that's expected for Japan, especially for the price we paid. Like, we roughly, I would say, paid like 30 USD each per night. So if I like, I calculated all of them together, like all the hotels, and took the average, and then like, it's about like 30 USD per person per night. So it's not too bad if you think about it, so yeah, not bad. Yeah, exactly. And all of them, well, all of them we either paid for breakfast when making the reservation, or we got breakfast included, so yeah. And all these hotels weren't the cheapest option because we had to make sure they had desks because of Noble, so yeah, there was that. So yeah. The first day we didn't really do anything because it was late, so I think we just like went to the convenience store, the Family Mart around the corner. Let's see. We can maybe zoom in. Yeah, this Family Mart, we literally went here, got food. Yeah. It's very nice. Supply run? Well, just to get like a drink and like a little snack. Because we did land at like 4:30-ish. So yeah. And then the next day, we went to Team Labs. For those of you that don't know what Team Labs is a multi-sensory art exhibit that is immersive. So, I have lots. So this is the garden room, right? So they change out the flowers obviously so that they don't die, but they have mirrors everywhere, and then the flowers hanging from the ceiling, and it's a lot of orchids. Orchids are already like, they're like, they don't need actual soil, they just need like moss and stuff, so sometimes not even that, but yeah, they grow on trees usually. They're like technically not a flower. I guess they're more of a parasite because they grow on the trees and suck the life out. Something like that. I don't know. They're still pretty though. Those are real flowers? Yeah, they are. They're actual orchids. Okay. I don't know how loud this is going to be. I have videos in here too. So we'll see how this is. But yeah, this is the entrance to Team Labs. There was a line. It started drizzling a little bit, but it wasn't anything bad, so we didn't really get wet. So you go into this hallway here, and they have you line up after scanning your ticket, and they show you a demonstration of what you can do, what not to do, and then you have to take off your shoes right there and then. You go into the locker room carrying your shoes. It smells really bad. like stinky feet, like gym locker room kind of smell. But you put your shoes and your belongings, except for cameras, into the lockers, and then you head into the exhibits. So the exhibits are divided up in two exhibits. There's the like light room, where it has like lots of lights and stuff like that. Very immersive. Some of them have water with it, so that's why you had to take off your shoes and socks. But you took off the socks in the locker room, but yeah. And then they had the garden area, which was a much smaller area where they had the orchids, and then they also had like mirror dinosaur egg thingies. Very interesting looking. So yeah. So once you went out of the Nightwing, thank you so much for the sub for 13 months. Thank you. But yeah, once we entered in the first exhibit, they make us walk up. It's slightly slanted. You walk up and water's flowing down, and that's basically to sanitize your feet so that you don't have smelly feet and get gross shit all over. So you go through that, and then there's a towel station. You grab a towel, dry off your feet, and throw it in the used towel bin. And then you go through like a dark room. It's like everything's black, and the bottom is basically a cloth, but underneath the cloth is a bunch of bean bags. So you're trying to walk through this. Like, this area still smelled a little bit like feet, so we got out real quick. But the other ones were fine. So yeah. But being American is that we're used to shoes without socks. Oh my god. Okay, and then here we go. Let me also turn this off. You can, well, that was anticlimactic. Okay. Here. So this was one room. You can see Noble there. So that was the first room. It's very pretty. I have more videos. So it's just basically glass, like mirror flooring, and the lights. So that was very cool. Let's see. Yeah, the next one's also. So I was looking up. I don't know if it shows my feet. Maybe it does show my feet. That might be awkward. I say I should very don't! Oh shit. Yeah, you don't. I don't want to show my feet. I don't want to go any further. I feel like I'm gonna show feet. So yeah, I'm not not going any further. But yeah, that was basically this entire room. It was really pretty. So yeah, then I don't remember if this was the next room, but I think it was. Maybe. Relax, no one has foot fetish, right, chat? I don't know. I don't want to be on Wiki Feet, so I won't show. But yeah, the next room was you walk through. So the water was like milky. It looked milky, and you slowly walk into it, and it's like knee deep, and it has projection of koi fish on it. I love no. He's like, oh, my content. I can't show content. So cool, yeah. Wow, no, yeah. So there was that. Well, you can do the bottom. Yeah, me explaining to Noble what you can show. I wore shorts. I was smart, by the way. And the water was actually nice and warm, so very nice. But yeah, okay. I think no, I can't turn on video yet or sound yet. But yeah, so there was that. Then you got to dry off your feet again with towels, and you continued. And I think the next room was the ballroom. Yeah. So if you hit the balls, they change color. So it's very interesting. Yeah. I don't have much video of this one. Balls! Oh my god. And then I think the next room was like a spinning room. Well, it's not like really spinning. So the floor was all mirrors. So most of these exhibits either had water or the floors were mirrors. At least in the ones that had like light as like their main feature. And so you were supposed to walk in. It's a dome-shaped hall with mirrors on the floor, and you're supposed to sit down and look up. I got really dizzy when I wanted to leave, and then Noble was like, oh, maybe we're supposed to lay down and experience it, and so we did that, and like it felt like we were floating through space of flowers. It doesn't come across in the video, but like you just lay on your back and that's what you see, and it's like slowly moving, and then the floor is also moving because you're seeing the flowers move in the mirror. It was really trippy. No, Lucaria, no. Yeah, so that was interesting, but I got dizzy here, so yeah. And I think this one was the last exhibit for the light area. Maybe not. I didn't take pictures of all of them, but yeah. And then you went back through the locker room to enter the garden area. You could basically enter the rooms as many times as you wanted to, technically. But yeah. So the next room was the dinosaur eggs. Mirror dinosaur eggs. It's very interesting. I don't know what to say, but yeah. It looked cool, but... And as you guys can see, it rained, so yeah. Eggs. Yeah, it rained. And then the last room was the one with the flowers. And yes, there are lots of people in there. And you basically have to sit down here because it's not tall enough. Well, she's standing, but it's fine. Yeah, you have to sit because they're so low. So yeah. That was basically Team Labs. And for reference, Team Labs is all the way out here. So it took us a while, like 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes to get out here. And there wasn't really anything else. There's like a shopping mall like around this area, but we didn't go because we wanted to meet up with Uni. So we met up with Uni in Akihabara that day too. But yeah. That basically concluded the 19th. On the 20th, Noble and I went to Akihabara. We also met up with Uni for a bit, and Noble won Uni the Yamper, or not the Yamper, a Plusle plushie from a Crane game. Noble didn't have to say, oh my god. Have you watched Aliens actually? No, I have not. So yeah, that basically, I don't know if I have any pictures. Give me a sec. Oh, yeah, Noble and I went to Ikebukuro, I think, this day as well on the 20th. So we went to... From what I heard, this is the largest anime store in Japan, like one building, like one store, just one store, and it's animate. And it opened up a month or two before we got there. It's in Ikebukuro, and it's just floors of anime merch. So they have manga there, they have art books there, they have buttons, standees, keychains, everything but figures, kind of. They also had like Genshin perfume. Like I was debating getting a Mona perfume, but it didn't like smell that great. They also had a D-Look one, but I didn't smell it. So yeah, it was interesting. So yeah, went here. I think I bought like one thing, but not for myself or a friend. So yeah. Perfume? Yeah, Genshin perfumes. It was interesting. Triangle, yeah. But yeah. The next thing. So we went to the Straw Hat store in Ikebukuro, and then next to it was a Pikachu Sweets Cafe. So it's similar to a Pokemon Cafe. They have other items, but you can't really sit down anywhere. It's just meant for you to grab the items, take a picture, and then eat the items and then go. So it's like, I wouldn't say less expensive, but like a different way to experience a Pokemon Cafe if you can't get a reservation. Let's say it this way. And yeah, this was the entrance. And you see that Garbodor over here? That's a literal trash can. Like, you can put stuff in its mouth. It was so cool. The item's home or... yeah. Not sure. Usually, Japanese people want you to eat it there and then. And, like, not walk around. I mean, I guess you could technically take some of the stuff with you, but some of the drinks came in, like, plastic cups to throw away. You had ice cream, so it wasn't, like, really stuff that you could take with you. Your wife, wow, angry, wow. And then this is what we got. So mine was, like, a mango float. It was good. I liked it. This was just soft serve ice cream with 2 raspberries on top. And then I think Noble's was like an orangey peachy drink that was like a smoothie kind of with whipped cream on top. And then we have a video. It was carbonated, by the way, and on the bottom was like fruit chunks. Yeah. And then they have these little, like, displays in the back. Oh, yeah, and on the side here, you can see the One Piece store. So, yeah. So, yeah, was pretty cool. And then, if you headed over to the other side, there were, like, these little centerpieces with, like, Pokemon. So, yeah, that was kind of cool. And then if you kept going further, there was the Mega Pokemon Center. This line for the Mega Pokemon Center inside, like, wrapped around the entire fucking store. So we went in, looked around, and we left and did not buy anything because we were like, no, fuck that. That is too long. Mega Center, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't think it's any bigger than any of the other stores, so... I think it's, like, about the same size. I just closed that. Okay, here we go. So, yeah. That's that. So, that's what we did on the 20th. And then on the 21st, we had to check out of our hotel, take a train to Haneda Airport this time, so the other international airport, which Haneda Airport, did I even mark it? No, I did not. Let's see. No, it's somewhere. Yeah, here it is. So Haneda Airport's over here. So we took a train from up here down here for our flight to Kumamoto. And it was early in the morning, so our flight left at 11:30. And it was a very short flight, and we arrived in Kumamoto at 1:15. We had to get our rental car, and then we drove to the first few statues. One Piece statues. Oh yeah, let me show you guys the pictures. So, this is going towards Haneda Airport. Lots of ocean. And then that was not our airplane, but still. Or maybe it was. Could be. I think it was, yeah. So yeah, there's that. And then we go on to Kumamoto, and arriving into Kumamoto, this was the view. And you can see Mount Azo in the back smoking, because it's a volcano. So yeah. Did you take in Japan? So we flew to Japan. That was one flight. We flew to Kumamoto. That was one flight. We flew to Osaka. That was one flight. And then we flew back. So in total, 4 flights. So yeah. It was cheaper than getting a bullet train and faster from from Tokyo to Kumamoto, or from Kumamoto to Osaka. So yeah, I decided to just book a flight for us, and yeah, worked out. And then this is more of Kumamoto. It's very pretty there. And then all the fields. It's a lot of fields, but very pretty. So yeah, let me... So the first statue that we went to was the Nami statue. And just for reference, okay, so Kumamoto is all the way down here, right? The airport's here, rental cars here. The first statue was over here, so this is the first stop that we made, the Nami statue. Let me see if I can find the picture. Here we go. By the way, we met Rustich at the airport. He drove out and then he took a taxi out, and then we met up with him and then we took him around. So, the Nami statue. And there was a line of people wanting to see her. And like, most of these had like rest areas near them. So yeah, it was very cool. If I saw the Nami statue, I would take me so much willing first not to lick. What the fuck, Angry? Anyone is great, isn't? What the fuck? There was a little kid, so the parents took the... I think the dad was holding the little girl. Or the little boy, whatever. It was like still a very young kid. And like the kid touched Nami's boobs. It was funny. But yeah. So there's that. Next one we went, so we drove this area. And it's very pretty driving through there. I wish I could have stopped somewhere and taken so many pictures, but I couldn't. So yeah. Next we went to Frankie. And Frankie, I think this is that one, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Is at a train station. So it was very pretty. So I had to take a picture. But yeah. So here's that one. Here's Frankie. So yeah. Saw that one too. We kinda did an oopsie here. So there was again a rest area, and we entered the wrong way, so we walked with our shoes on carpet, and then I saw a mom with her child and telling the child to wear the slippers, and I was like, oh shit, I don't think we're supposed to walk on here with shoes. And then Rustage and Noah were like, oh shit, and so we bolted for the door and just were like, yeah, okay, we're just gonna leave, because we were debating like getting something, because they had this small little gift shop there, and yeah, it was kind of awkward. Yeah. Hard time not working on Nami around. What the fuck? So yeah, after this, I wanted to do something for myself. So I went to this hike here. Noble was against it at first, but Rustich was for it. And so Noble didn't want to say nothing. I thought it was very funny. Like, there were multiple times where Noble wanted to like basically be like, no, you're wrong, I never said that. Because like, I think we were at the Frankie statue. Or no, maybe not Frankie. I forgot who we were at. But we were at one of the statues, and he's such a little bitch, yeah. But we were one at statues, and then they were asking about food and like if there's anything nearby, and I was like, well, I wanted to look up like food places and add them to the list, but then Noble said that I shouldn't and we should just see what there is. And Noble was about to say, no, that's not true. You could have added things to it. It would have been much easier. And like, Rustich was like, oh, that's such a good idea. And Noble was like, no, yeah, it's such a great idea. And I was like, fucking bitch. What the fuck? You were just gonna go off on me? I just found it, like, really funny. But then again, you guys are 10 years younger than him. Yeah. But yeah. It was funny. But yeah, so the hike that we did is very pretty. I am happy that we went and that Rustage was for it and that he dragged Noble up there and wasn't a little bitch. So yeah. Basically. So yeah. There's this. Basically this, I saw an article and it was like basically, oh yeah, this is in this anime. I don't remember what anime, but I just thought it looked really cool. So I added it. You can see Rustage back there. Yeah, that's the shrine. And then you can go even past the shrine up top, which we did, and it was a mistake because Noble and Rustage wanted to go up even further, even though there was no path anymore, like concrete path. And so Noble went over to where people stacked rocks, and then when he wanted to come back, he fucking slipped and hurt his arm, and his arm hurt the entire trip. And I think he fractured a bone, but he doesn't want to admit it, because I don't think a muscle hurts that bad for like 2 weeks. I don't think so. So, yeah. Idiot. Yeah. Rustage was almost gonna eat shit too, but he saw Noble eating shit, and so he learned from Noble's mistake, so. I just was watching them, and like even the locals were like, what the fuck are those two foreigners doing? They're so goddamn stupid. What a goddamn idiot. Quick, on his channel. Nah, it's okay. Doesn't want to admit it to not go to hospital and get into. Well, like in Japan, it's cheap too. And he could have gotten travel insurance for like really cheap and then gotten all the costs covered. Like, it's not a big deal, but no, he doesn't care. Like the health insurance that I have still with my parents, like that one had free travel insurance, so I was good. It was Noble would have had to deal with his stuff, so yeah. Seeing what not to do. Well, he was probably gonna eat shit if Noble didn't eat shit, so. Even I have travel insurance for when I go to California and help. Well, to be fair, from going from the US to another country for health and like having a health issue is much cheaper than going from, for example, New Zealand to California or the US for health reasons. Cause here you're gonna go in debt. No matter what. Even if you're a foreigner. They don't care. So, yeah. Yeah. Anything is cheaper from America. Exactly. But yeah. More pictures of this place. It's very pretty. A lot of like moss. I wonder what it looks like at night with these things lit up. I feel like it would be really pretty, but yeah. I would definitely recommend this. It was like, people were saying, oh yeah, it's like a 2-hour hike for you to get there and shit like that. I guess if you're like taking the train to this part, yes. But it maybe took us like 30 minutes, I would say. It's a lot of stairs, but maybe like 30-40 minutes at most. So it wasn't bad. But yeah, it's up here. Then we continued looping around. Looping around, going over here to the Usopp statue. Let me see if I can find it. Some of these are like very small. Is it this one? Yes. Okay, so again, another like small little like thing here. I think Usopp was another one that was near train. Yeah, the JR line goes here. So this one you can easily get to by train. A lot of these you can't. So that's why we decided to rent a car, plus it was cheaper. I still cannot believe you have to pay for a fucking ambulance. Yeah. Yeah. Even with health insurance, I think an ambulance is like 100, I think? I don't know. I know at least if you have to go to the emergency room, copay is like $100. Just to go to the emergency room. If you have health insurance, that is. But yeah. So yeah, went to see Usopp. Sorry. If you're unconscious, they just assume you want the help. Or they ask a relative, I guess. But yeah. So we were at the Usopp statue, and then we were like, okay, next one's Robin. And then Restage was like, I think she closes at 5. Well, no, I saw she was closed. And I was like, oh, it's probably just a museum there, because it said museum. And then Rustage was like, no, I heard other people say it was closed for them, so they couldn't go because it's like in the museum grounds. So we were like, shit, okay, can't go. So we didn't go to Robin. So Rustage didn't get to see Robin. So we took this way back over here. And some of these roads are like really like narrow. Like we had to drive like through, I don't know, like basically US one-way lanes, and it fit 2 cars. So it was very interesting. The statue is closed? Yes, because it's part of a museum. It's in the museum grounds, and the museum closes at 5. So yeah, but I'll talk about Robin's statue later. So we went to Zoro's statue, and it was in a little park. Here he is. Wolf would now say boobies. Smile. But yeah, we went here, we parked, and then Rustage found a good local place that he was like, oh, let's go eat there. So we were like, okay, cool. So basically walk around back here, back, and then it was like somewhat over here. And it was like a Michelin star place. What was it called again? Is it Isekai? Give me a sec. Isekai, yeah. So we went there. They were like surprised that there was a foreigner, or foreigners came. And so we sat down, ordered our food. I was gonna order the ramen, but then saw that it was horse meat, and I was like, no, I can't. And Noble didn't get it because I said I can't. Like, I literally don't care. So we got what Google translated as fried chicken with garlic sauce. And I was like, ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, I'll get that. And so your model's going crazy. Is it? Is it? She looks fine. At least now. Horse meat, yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm down for fried chicken. Turns out it was chicken cartilage. I could not eat it. I could not. The texture was just so off. And so like both Noble and I got it, and like both of us didn't like it. And so fucking Rustage ate both of our foods. I felt so bad because I didn't want to just leave like an entire thing there still for, yeah, I felt bad. The sauce was so good, and like the little meat that was left on the cartilage was good too, but I just couldn't. I couldn't. Dolphin meat must be delicious. Wow, fuck you, Angry. But yeah. So we ate there, and yeah, we were then done with the food, and Rustage went to pay. Noble wanted to pay, but Rustage didn't pay it, and then Rustage was like, "Hey, come!" She's trying to show us something, and so she takes us to like this extension of the izakaya, which like is like basically a sit-down bar, and she shows us this. It's Satoshi's voice actor, a signature, and like she asked us to take a picture of us. Like, in front of it. And, like, she was like, oh, I'm gonna send it to her. Or to the voice actor. And we're like, wow, that's cool. So, we assume this person knows Satoshi's voice actor. So, yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Very random, too. But yeah, let me see if I can find it on here. I don't think it was too far. Yeah, here it was, and then we walked this way. Maybe it's this place? Yeah, this is it. This is the place that we went to. Let me... Okay. Here, give me a sec, chat. Yeah, okay, here, I can... But yeah, it was very good food, just not for me. So yeah. It's very cute. Like, this was the random bar that she took us in. To this random door. Yeah. Rustage got this, and Noble was debating it too, but again, it's horse meat, so I didn't get it. We were basically sitting somewhere here. In these places. Apparently they're known for this, I guess? Maybe? I don't know. Don't know exactly. And the thing that Noble and I ordered, let's see if I can find it.
Welcome back.
Hoopa-Joe!
Did you get a chance to try Mossberg?
Yes, yes we did. Yes we did. I don't think I can find it. Also, thank you so much for the 100 bits, Hoopa-Joe. Let's see. Yeah, I can't find it, but like it looked good on the thing. I had even a picture and it just looked like tiny little chicken bits. But it was like, yeah, chicken cartilage. It was good again, but yeah. Did you find some funny English translation and sign to make no sense? No, not really. But yeah, this was that place. So yeah. And then after this, we headed to our hotel, which was here. This one had breakfast. Yeah. So, I don't have any pictures, but there was like a little street next to our hotel that had like food. And so we went to eat again. This time, ramen. And Rustage also went. So, I know horse meat. I like horses. I don't want to eat horse meat. I'm good. So, yeah. Why not dolphin meat? What the fuck? No. But yeah, so we went there. The next day, we wanted to meet up with Rustage at 10 at Kumamoto Castle, but he overslept, so we didn't meet up until like 2 or 3, I think it was. But, and this is Kumamoto Castle. It's very pretty. And we didn't know we could enter. We thought there was a sign that said it's closed. And then we just were like, okay. We just were at the wrong entrance, so yeah. Here's the castle. This is up top, looking out. It's very pretty. And another one. So yeah. Lots of greenery all over Kumamoto. So yeah, that's where we went. We met up with Rustage. This is where Noble tried to stream but didn't work out. And And then, well, we went to Kumamoto Castle. Nobu tried to stream. Then we went into the car. They were back to the car because we couldn't get in or didn't know where to go in. And so we were like, okay, let's just drive to the Luffy statue. And then we also drove to Chopper. Because Rustic said to just go without him. And so we got to the Luffy statue, and then Rustic was like, oh, okay, I'll be there in like 30 minutes at the Kumamoto Castle. So we drove back to the Kumamoto Castle, met up with Rustic, went around the Kumamoto Castle there, and then we went back to the Luffy statue and then to the Chopper statue. And this was the Luffy statue. It was in front of the government building. So yeah. And Luffy statue, I believe, is this first one. And so you actually have Oda's handprint on it. And Noble put his handprint on there just to see. And it's almost the same size hand. English, Japanese, sign, and discard. Okay, I will look at it later. But yeah. If I saw that Luffy statue, it would take me so much for us not to lick it. What the fuck? Anyways, what's your favorite? What the fuck? I assume he's there because he's a captain. I think so. I like, so all the locations of the statues have like a meaning or like a reason why they're there. They're like very... The places that they chose for the statues were the places that were hit the worst in the 2016 earthquake in Kumamoto. But like each area basically has a reason why. Like one of them had like a cafeteria there, but it's not there anymore, but it used to be a school cafeteria and stuff like that. So like we found that out at the last statue though. So yeah. So Luffy. Then so Luffy's statue. Let me see. Luffy was over here. Kumamoto Castle is like here. So we drove from here to here to here to here. And then we got to Chopper's statue. And now Chopper's statue is at a non-ethical zoo. I don't have a picture of Chopper by himself. I forgot. So I have Sunburnt Noble on here. But yeah. So you have Chopper's statue. And we went into the zoo. But we didn't know it was a non-ethical zoo. And yeah. Yeah. It was interesting. So we went to Chopper, then we went all the way out here for the Brook statue. It was in like a little kids park. Yeah. And this one was big. Very big. I saw that Chopper statue. It would take me so much will enforce not to... Leviathan, are you okay? Mix of fur. Yeah. Oh my god, are you guys... Okay, whatever. So yeah, saw the Brook statue. Then after that, we drove all the way out here for the newest statue. Jinbei. And you can see Rustage and Noble back there. So yeah. And this place was very interesting. So you had the statue, and then this road here you can only access during low tide. And so we saw fishermen, like they have their boats back here, and so they drove their cars back here. Well, they had cars and then they drove along this road, and it was very interesting. Didn't see something like that. Yeah, more pictures. Oh my god. Oda said that if Brooke was real, he would be Austrian. Why? You guys are being weird just because I want to like noise. Oh my god. I'm not looking Jimmy. I'll kiss him on the cheek though. Oh my god. Yeah, this is the area around it. It's very far away from everything. Yeah, I got him all by himself with no one in the background. So yeah, there was that. And then we headed to the One Piece store over here. We were inside, looked around. Derpy!
29 months, let's go.
Thank you so much for the 29 months. Thank you. You lot are too hard. Yeah. And we also got food there with Rustage. We said goodbye to Rustage because the train station was here. So we said goodbye. And then Noble and I completed our journey from driving here in the night. We took the toll road all the way over here to Tosu. So, yeah. Yeah. It was a long drive. Well, not that long. But our plan was... So, the thing is, everyone started posting about this One Piece ship at the theme park. I did extensive research, like hours of research, like going into Google reviews and stuff like that, of the hotels nearby, of the dock nearby, everything, trying to find recent reviews with pictures of this fucking One Piece ship. Right? I see one or multiple posts like from 3 weeks ago. And I was like, okay, it's for sure still there. We're good. The TikToks are not lying. The YouTube videos are not lying. It's still there. Because like a lot of people were posting about it like a couple weeks before I found out about this. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we can go. No, it's not fucking there anymore. So we drove all the way out to Japan's largest theme park, which is fucking Dutch themed. It's interesting experience, but like we drove out for nothing basically. So yeah, these are the only 2 pictures I have of this place. It was very interesting. Angry, can you delete that message? What? So yeah, I would not recommend going. I mean, unless you want to see Japan's largest theme park that is Dutch themed. And then this was at Don Quixote where Noble won 2 One Piece cards. So yeah. Then we headed back to the hotel that day. So we're now up to the 23rd. We went to a book off nearby here. And we found really cheap figures, which was really nice. So if you ever... go to rural areas or areas that are not as much traveled, definitely go into Book Off to find cheap figures. Like in Kumamoto, not a lot of people or foreigners come apparently. I guess over here, not as well, so I would recommend. And yeah, then the next day, we headed from here. I told Noble we were gonna go to the airport, right? But we went to the Robin statue. So we drove out to the Robin statue. I guess I surprised him. He did not think we were going. But yeah, here. So, this is the Robin statue. So Noble got to see all of them. And yeah, so... we got there. It was like basically a construction site like down below on the road too. It's because they're making an earthquake museum there, and like the building that used to stand there is like basically to show how bad earthquakes can be and how bad the earthquake was there in Kumamoto. And so the people working there were so nice. Like they welcomed us, and then they were like, oh, here's an English guide for you. And the guy like handed us 3 English guides, even though we were just 2 people. I think they were just so excited. I don't know. But yeah, so they handed us those. And then we continued down and looked at like some of the damage that was done, and then we saw Robin. And like a guy chased us down and it was like, oh, here, take this, and hands us like 2 postcards of like Robin. So like we got like official like postcards from Robin's statue. And then as well as a booklet or a pamphlet about why each statue is at each location and talking about what happened. And then also you guys saw that Noble bought like the cookie box thing. So all the funds that are collected through that are put back into reconstruction from some of these well, from this earthquake. So it was very cool. So it was talking about that. So it was very nice. You're gonna watch One Piece, right? We'll see. But yeah, this is the building. So you guys can like see like all the cracks. It's crazy. Like, look at that. Like, damn. And then the street here is just like all broken. This building looks somewhat alright, but yeah. A video. But yeah, you guys can see like how damaged this was, and it's just, this was like, I think it said it was like part of a university, and now it's just, yeah, just that. An earthquake museum. So yeah. Well, One Piece. Well, the One Piece statue was something for Noble. It wasn't for me, but I enjoyed going around Kumamoto. It was very pretty. But yeah, after that, we returned our car and went to the airport and left. And this was our plane. It was a very tiny plane. And then more shots of Kumamoto, leaving Kumamoto. It was very pretty. Yep. Okay, and next thing. Okay, so we were on our way to Osaka, and our flight arrived around 2:35, so like an hour flight. So not too long. Oh. Music died. There we go. Okay, let me pull up Osaka. So arriving in Osaka. This is still leaving Kumamoto, as you guys can see with all the fields. And this is heading towards Osaka. And then we took a bus into the city, which was like 40 minutes from the airport. And more video. Going into Osaka. I thought I would really love Osaka because I've only heard good things about Osaka and it being like very open and like very friendly. But like, I actually didn't enjoy Osaka that much. Like, at least the vibe of it. Like, I still want to go visit again, but like, the vibe was different. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Mario Kart popcorn thing, but doesn't play. I know, it's weird. I may have gone overboard with the bad English Japanese. Uh-oh. Noble is too scared to play Mario Kart because he's gonna lose. Yeah, probably. So we arrived in Osaka. I believe we didn't go to the Pokemon Center, but I think we walked around Denden Town, which is where our hotel was, which it's basically a little Akihabara in Osaka. So here was our hotel. Denden Town is basically here, this entire area. We did not go here, but this is like a very like famous street for food. It's very touristy, but apparently food there's good. We had like one of the best ramen ever. Let me see if I can find it. I think this was, where's our hotel? Shit. Okay, here. This one over here. No. I found it yesterday. Maybe it is. No. I thought I marked it. Oh, up here. Yeah, this is like very good ramen, like the best ramen I've ever had. It doesn't have good reviews for some reason, but it had like 3.7. But that's like because apparently people were saying like, oh, they speak only Chinese and they don't like talk to you, and it's like, okay, whatever. But very good ramen. Would definitely recommend if you're ever in Osaka and near Denden town. Do you have a hard time escaping the deer? No. Chinese? Yeah, I know. I don't understand. I don't understand either. I don't know who the fuck wrote the reviews. It's just weird. But yeah. So we had, I don't remember exactly what we did on the 24th. I think it was just walking around Denden town. But yeah, on the 25th was Noble's first rest day. I'll say this, first rest day for Noble. Because Noble said I did not give him any rest days, right? I maybe gave him 1 day. I gave him plenty of rest days. But he does not believe. So, I gave him this day as a rest day, right? Rest day for Noble. So I went, except for the Pokemon Cafe, which was like later in the evening. Tell him to suck it up. Well, he was complaining, saying, oh, it's too much time. We should have left Japan a while ago. Oh, you're not giving me any time off. I was like, I literally did, but whatever. So, I went to Nara. I don't really have a lot, because I was walking around with you guys. But yeah. Some of these things you probably already saw from the stream. But yeah. Just walking around Nara. To be honest, I don't think I would ever go back to Nara. It's like very overhyped. Yes, this Christian, yeah. Nara is like very overhyped. Like, sure, it's nice, but I don't think I'll ever go back. I'll do something else next time. Probably. But yeah. I got like the mochi. I got the mochi from the viral dude that was like slapping the mochi and another guy hits it with the hammer. That was actually really good. So maybe I would recommend getting that, but is it worth spending 600 yen driving, well, taking the train over there for an hour and then an hour back and another 600 yen for like 300 yen mochi? No, I would not say it's worth it, but yeah. You were sleeping? No. You have to stream say. You stream? I tried to, but it didn't really work. Next time what I'll probably do, I'll get pocket Wi-Fi as well as a SIM card. Like, even a digital SIM card if that's possible, and try doing that so that I have a backup. So, no, it's just a good place to chill, yeah, probably. But, so the trip was from over here, going over here. I got a bike. This is the dude's mochi place. But yeah, it was interesting, but probably not gonna go again. Drove back here to meet Noble at the hotel, right? Because he was like, oh, you have to go pick me up, otherwise I can't find my way to the Pokemon Center. You can download Google Maps offline or open it up offline or when you have Wi-Fi and then go, but Yeah. So we went over here to the Pokemon Cafe. Let's see. Osaka. So first we went to Pokemon Center and they had the birds. The birds! So we have Moltres, we have Zapdos, and Articuno, the big birds. And then we went to the Pokemon Cafe. Mr. May, I assume he has the streamer backpack that's like $3,000 just for the Asia one, and then there's also a US one which is also $3,000, and then you have to keep maintenance on it and subscriptions. So yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that money. I would love to have that backpack, but I just can't afford that. If I were to travel more and I would get money to support that, then yes, but probably not. Old man Noble, love that. Noble would lose his head. Go outside without basically. But yeah, so Noble got the Eevee hot chocolate. And he got the mug, obviously. You could get it without the mug and just the hot chocolate, or you can get it with the mug. I got the Eevee milk tea. It basically tasted like the milk tea I could get at the convenience store for like $1. And it was like $8 or $9. No, not even like, I think it was like $10 for this fucking Eevee milk tea that tasted awful. So yeah. And then here is my food. I got the Pikachu dish. It had like rice in it, and this had mac and cheese in it. Then we have like a hamburger bun. Well, not a bun, the patty. This was a shrimp. It actually tasted pretty well, or good. Potatoes, and then a salad. So it was pretty good. And then each of these plates, you can get a different looking Pikachu. Noble got, I think, the happy looking Pikachu with like just a smile or something, and I got the Ditto one. So yeah. And here is a close-up of my food. But overall, I would say it's pretty good. Is it worth the price? Probably not. But is it worth the experience? I would say maybe yes. So yeah. And then Noble got this parfait. And I didn't get it at this one. Because, like, the bill was already gonna be so big, so I was like, it's fine, I'm not gonna get it. So Noble got it. I got it at the Tokyo one. I basically, yeah. So yeah, I got to try it. It's not that great, to be honest. It's like, But yeah. Next to the Pokemon Cafe, there was the Studio Ghibli store. So we have this. And then we have no face. And yeah, that is basically it for that day. I've never wanted to eat a Pikachu before in my life, except today. I feel like cafes are good for pictures and merch you can get there. Yeah, exactly. But I would not suggest... Like, it's very expensive. It's like US meals, basically. I love Spirited Away so much. Yeah, same. And then on the 26th, we went to Universal Studios. We had to get there at like 9 to get reservations for Nintendo Land, but we did manage to get it. When we first went in, they had the JJK collab, and I walked in and wanted to get some stuff, and then I was wearing my Gojo shirt, and a lot of the people working there were complimenting my Gojo shirt, and were like surprised that I had like the actual correct like wording for Gojo on my sleeve and stuff like that. I was like, oh, thank you, and like, yeah. So I wanted then a picture with the JJK thing, and the girl that was then taking asked if I wanted to take a picture with Noble with it, so we took it together. And then she also pointed out over here there was the hand sign that Gojo does, so I took a picture over there too, but I don't have the picture in here. But after this, we went to Hogwarts. So here you go actually through a forest. In the US one, you don't really go through a forest. It's just like, here, there you are. Here you are in Hogwarts, in Hogsmeade. Here you go. Actually, Pokemon here, merch in Japan? Yes, of course. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? But yeah, so we went in here and went to Hogsmeade. It's basically the exact same as the California one, just that they have like an actual forest leading into Hogsmeade, and they have a lake, which I didn't take a picture of. But yeah, this is it inside. This is like early in the morning when there's not a lot of people in there. The line for butterbeer was so long, I did not get butterbeer. I wanted it so bad, but it was so long, so I was like, fuck it. I won't. Whatever. And then I think we walked around a bit more. We did the Spider-Man ride. And then at like 12-ish, I think, our reservations for Nintendo Land was there. Did you guys hear Harry Potter? No, but I assume all the rides he speaks Japanese. Hogsmeade does have the performers from the other schools, I think, from... I don't remember which movie it was, but it's the movie where the mermaids are in it. Like, or the mer people. So, they had... where Ron and Hermione are, like, submerged underwater, chained to it. I forgot which one that is. But, they had the two other competing schools. They have usually, Goblet of Fire, yes, that's it. So they have the other two schools. They usually have performances there, like dances and stuff. And so they had them here too. And they actually spoke English, and they were all like white people, basically. They weren't like Asian. They were all white. Which I found very interesting, but I mean, kind of makes sense. So, yeah. Triwizard Tournament, yes, exactly. So yeah. And then we headed into Nintendo World. Woohoo! And this is walking in. You go through the tube. And this is mostly why they limit or have entries for it, because this is the only way in and out of Nintendo World. So if there's anything major, that's an issue. So that's why they have reservations for Nintendo World for both Japan and Hollywood, and then soon Florida. Look at Noble chasing ahead. Yeah. But yeah. And then we get into Nintendo World. It's very cool. It was very cool. And then we decided to go to the Mario Kart ride. I knew it wasn't gonna be that great from videos that I saw, but basically you're wearing this really heavy hat on your head, and then once you sit in the ride, you have to put the AR goggles, like snap it to it. Like it snaps on with magnets, but like it's heavy. And so my headset kept like falling down. But yeah, this is the entrance. Well, the entrance is Bowser's Castle, but Bowser's here. Yeah, how it looks inside. It's pretty cool. And like, these are the hats that we had to wear. They're so weird, and then the goggles snap onto it. But yeah, the ride is like, I probably would not. We did single riders, so we only stood in line for like 30-40 minutes, but like, if we wanted to like sit together, we would probably had to wait in line for like an hour 30 to 2. It was like busy. So single rider we did. A child and an old man. I don't know. Yeah. More Nintendo Land. And then they have a parade. So they have like it's a parade, so there's Sing. There is, I think there was, no. I know Sing is the movie, they have those characters there. They have Mario Kart there, and they have Pokemon. So maybe that's hinting at a Pokemon themed area? Maybe? I hope. We'll see. We'll see in the future if they'll allow it, if they'll get it. But that would be really cool. But yeah, so this is... Let me turn this off. This is the parade. Let me turn this down. There's no different way. They've done a Pokemon park before. There was a Pokemon park. It was catered towards kids, and it shut down. I think either it opened up in 2006 or it shut down in 2006. But yeah, there was a Pokemon park. They shut it down, mostly because it was catered towards kids. But if Universal were to do it, I feel like they already have enough traction with Mario Kart, which is Nintendo. So Pokemon would be really cool to have with that. But we'll see. I guess time. But yeah. This... Oh my fucking nuts. But yeah. This is basically the parade. They stop at certain areas, and then the entire crowd can just jump in and dance right next to the floats. Which I'm like, that could never happen here in America. Cause like, people would just like damage the floats, try and get to touch the characters, and like just be really disrespectful and not leave when the floats have to move further. But yeah, it's very cool. It's Rainbow Road Leviathan. Look, Rainbow Road. Is that Mario? Yes, it is Rainbow Road. And yeah, that's the Pokemon. It's very pretty. They have really cute Pokemon. Like, the trainers have, like, actual Pokemon puppets. Superior Cores, yes. But yeah, it's really cool. Look at the little Bulbasaur. He's so cute. And I think they're two sized, which is really kind of... Oh, wow, look at him. Oh, yes, right? So yeah, it's real cool. Well, obviously the Pikachu is not two sized, but yeah. And the whole Charizard and gang are... it's so cool. But yeah, this was basically the end of the parade. And that was the, like, line. The kind of, like, rope, I guess. Whatever. Chino, oh my god. But yeah. That was that. So that was fun. That was fun. Then we went back to the hotel. I think we went to Den downtown again just to look around. And yeah, that was basically Osaka. The next day we headed to Kyoto, not before Noble bought his One Piece jacket, because he was thinking about it all week, so, or all the time we were in Osaka, so we went back and got his jacket, but like the places didn't open up until like 10, so we had to wait. So next we went to Kyoto. It took like an hour by train. And we dropped off our luggage at the hotel, which so we had to drive from here all the way up here. Our hotel was right here, which was next to the Pokemon Center. So it was cool. Zucchino didn't know about your post yesterday until end of stream today. Ah. Teehee. I'd love to go to Kyoto. Oh, my friend. Yes, Kyoto is so pretty. I really want to spend more time here. Like, I saw so much, but like, I feel like I didn't see enough in Kyoto. Like, I want to see so much more. So the first place we went to was the Golden Palace. After we dropped off our luggage. The only thing negative about Kyoto that I will have to say is that their transportation is mainly buses, and the buses are like full, like there are people cramped in it. So that's the only downside, that you can't really travel by train that much, and it's more bus focused. So that was like, eh. So, oh yeah, my music. Okay, so this is the Golden Palace. It's so pretty. They have multiple angles of it. Very pretty. It was like 500 yen per person to enter. Yeah, very pretty. I have lots of pictures. As you guys can see, a mix of phone and camera photography. So yeah, and those are the ones for the Golden Palace. Yeah, what did I drag away? Anything else? They've done a lot of anime. They were the studio that got where the person kind of exploded the thing, and then it caught on fire, and yeah. They have a lot of popular anime. Kyo Studio. Or Kyo Anime. But let's see. So that was all the way up here. Then I wanted to go to the street. Kyoto Animation, yes, exactly. I wanted to go to this street here where there's shopping and actual food and stuff like that, but I actually misclicked and hit that, so we went to that instead. It's also another temple, basically. But yeah, it has a very nice garden. This time I think it was like 400 yen per person. But yeah, very pretty. It basically, like, had a lot more forest than the Golden Pavilion, but the structure itself was kind of similar to the Golden Pavilion. We also had a cream puff here, and I think like a strawberry smoothie, which was good. But yeah, that was at this place. The explain personal one, of course. Everyone knows the explain. Not the what the fuck? No, a person went there and like, I think he made like, what was it? It was a person that made an attack on Kyoto Animations. He created like a bomb or something like that. Yeah, he set on fire, yeah. And so a lot of people died there. And like, all the work basically was burned. You don't remember that, Lucario? It was like really big in the anime community when that happened. It was July 18th, 2019. He set it on fire, yeah, exactly. I wasn't talking about anime, or an anime about that. Oh, I remember that, yeah, exactly. Yep. About what Twitter said. Oh, Twitter said something? Oh. Well, Twitter has their opinions, you know. They have their opinions. Called me a fake weeb for not knowing certain VTubers. Well, I think like VTubers are like, sure, they're a part of the anime community, but I wouldn't say that not knowing anime VTuber or VTubers in general is you not being a weeb, because like you can love anime and be really into anime, but you can also not like live streamers or VTubers. So like, I think it's fine. You're still a weeb even if you don't like VTubers. It's like, but now liking VTubers and not liking anime, that's kind of weird. I don't know, but I could kind of see that. Some people were celebrating because they made oh, yikes. Yeah, no, Twitter is weird. Garbage Tumblr, don't pay attention to it. Yeah, exactly. Just getting the car a hard time. Okay. I feel like a lot of anime fans don't watch anime anymore, but they love VTubers. Yeah, I've noticed that too, especially with the merch. That's why I'm like trying to focus my merch now more towards VTubers. I don't know. I don't watch anime or VTubers. I hate to break it to you, but you are watching a VTuber. So but yeah. I don't watch much anime now. Bro, you are a VTuber? Oh yeah! Derpy is a VTuber, but it was Bloody Lunacy who said they don't watch VTubers. I'm just a streamer? Oh, you're just a streamer. Oh, okay. You're not a VTuber? Ashley's a VTuber. Exactly, I'm a VTuber. You're watching me right now. So technically you do watch VTubers. So you were lying to us. Trying to, I don't know, clear your tracks or something. I don't know. But yeah. After this, I think we went back to the hotel to just rest. Because Noble was complaining. Because it was like, oh, it's just another day of all traveling and I can't take a rest, even though he had a rest day on the 25th. This is where the complaining started, by the way. Noble said next time he's not going with me to Japan, so it's cool. I mean, probably what we'll do, probably go with Noble to Japan. We'll probably spend the week in Tokyo, and then I'll be stuck there for the rest of the time all by myself. So, I mean, I'm fine with it, whatever. I feel like if you just spend so much time, like 18 hours at least on a plane, like you have to be there longer than a week. A week is just way too short. It's not even a week at that then. It's like 5 to 6 days at most that you can spend, because you lose a day going over to Japan, and then you have to most likely have a flight in the afternoon, so that's like another half a day wasted. So like maybe 5.5 days in Japan. That's so little time. But the next day I went to the famous Fox Shrine hike with the 10,000 torii gates and 12,000 steps. So, lots of fox statues. I was surprised Noble didn't want to go, but he did not want to go. So I woke up at 6 and arrived there at like at 7. And yeah. A lot of people say, oh, get there early at 7 and you won't have any people there so you can get your pictures. No, there are lots of people there already at 7, so if you really want to be there early, I would say be there at 6 if you don't want anyone, or have to wait till the path is clear. Big Flock fan, yeah. But, so these are some pictures from it. Lots of gates. Like, the hike took me 2.5 hours. Like, 2 hours to walk all the way to the top and then half an hour down. A lot of that time for me was spent waiting for people to leave the shot for me to get, like, clear pictures like this. So, I would say maybe, like, 2 hours, 1.5 hours that it took me. So, yeah. Want to go see that so much. It's so cool. Although I was a bit afraid because I was like walking all alone in some parts. Like when you go further up, like the further up you go, the less people there are. So I was walking pretty far up and there was no one around me because like a guy like bolted like ahead that was like walking with me for a bit, but then like he like bolted for it. And so I was just all alone in some sections until like some people came towards me. But there were signs for like monkeys and boars, and I was like afraid that they were gonna attack me because I was like the only person there and stuff like that. Want to go to atomic bomb down Hiroshima? Yes, I want to go too, but Noble doesn't want to go. He didn't. Okay, the only reason he went to Nagasaki was because I said that the One Piece ship was there, which it was not. And then Hiroshima, he doesn't want to go because he says it's too insensitive and Americans should not be allowed to go there. So, yeah. Was afraid of the wildlife? Hey, it said there's monkeys and boars. I don't like either of them. Would feel safer if she was driving a car. In that case, the wildlife would be scary. Yes. Yes, he says it's insensitive. That's why Americans should especially go to see that. Yeah. I don't know. He just says it's insensitive because we did that damage and killed a bunch of people that way. But I think it's like, you can go there to pay your respects and be like, hey, I'm sorry this happened. Like, let's make sure this doesn't happen again. Because they have a museum there, like, talking about it. So you get educated and be like, hey, let's make sure this doesn't happen again in the future. Like, learn from our history. But, yeah. Imagine believing that the entirety of Hiroshima's history is basically exclusively around the time. Yeah. It's called the World Peace Museum or something. Yeah, it is. It's like a whole park. Noble knows that US invaded and killed a lot of civilians in many other countries. Yeah, he does. We basically stole California from Mexico. So, I mean... But he loves Mexican food and loves being in California, so... Yeah. I don't understand. But it is what it is. Yeah, more Fox Shrine pictures. I didn't notice until yesterday editing is there's a coin up here and they have like a bunch of coins in here too. Whoops. That was kind of cool. He is friends with Mexican. Yeah, he is. Yeah. I don't know. Not to mention that the firebombing of Tokyo and other cities were way worse than the atomic bombing. He's just being an old and tired. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, very pretty. Some of the pictures didn't turn out how I wanted to. It was just too grainy because it was so like still dark outside. So yeah, this one turned out cool. I like this one. It's really cool. The contrast between the green and the red. Ah, very nice. And yeah, you can see Kyoto, like the city, from up top. Well, this isn't up top. This is like the midpoint where you can decide going back down, or you can decide to keep on going all the way to the top. They had like little stores every now and then. I don't know how they got their deliveries and shit. Like I saw one man like take multiple trips from all the way from the top, bringing down drinks, but I don't even know how the drinks got all the way to the top. So I don't know. Interesting. There are multiple stations like this where there's water flowing where you could wash your hands and mouth for like spiritual reasons. So yeah, and then there were some parts where you could have these tiny little torii gates. Yeah, and more fox statues. More pathways. And this is the entrance to the Fox Shrine. Also where you can buy a bunch of souvenirs around this area. Yeah, this was early in the morning. Lots of torii gates. I thought this lamp was really cute. But yeah. More actual people in the picture. So see, there are actual people. They just come in waves. So yeah. This was all the way at the top. My only picture of making it all the way to the top. I just found it looked funny. And my VTuber. Being like, haha, I made it. Yeah. This was going down again. They had more tiny little torii gate, like, charms, which looked really pretty. And this was walking down again. And this is at the entrance, when you first go in. So, really cool. And yeah, so the next, yeah, so after that I got back, what was it? I left at 7. I was out there for 2.5 hours and it took me an hour back by train. So I was back around like 10, 11. I think more towards 11 because I missed breakfast. I remember that. And so I went to the Family Mart nearby to get breakfast, which was like $4. So cheap. It's so cheap. But yeah. So I think this is it, yeah. So I chilled for a couple of hours, I think 2 or 3 hours. So by that time it was like 2 or 3 and Noble was getting hungry and I was like, hey, let's go to this shopping street that I wanted to go yesterday where they also have food and we can like eat there. It's like half an hour out. What do you think about it? And he was like, yeah, sure, okay. Yeah, he's like, oh, this was my day of rest, and like later on he didn't get day of rest. Remind you, he only left after 3 or 2 or 3 we left. Did you see the gum? No, I did not. I did not, sadly. So yeah, we went. So the Fox Shrine is down here. Oh yeah, literally my thing from like a couple of years ago. Long height, I'm dragging Noble's ass up. Yeah, and then how to get there. Yep. But basically, so I went back to the hotel this way, and then we went out here. Where shopping is, and then another shrine, I guess. So yeah, this was the street leading towards it. A lot of people also say be here really early to get like pictures of no people in it, but to be honest, I feel like it's more lived in this way. Looks cooler. I don't know. There are a lot of people though. I wanted to make my own like ring there, but then Noble was like, oh, just go in and like make it. There was a line of people that he didn't see. So I was like, oh, I want to get it done, but then I didn't get it done because Noble didn't want to stay there, so whatever. Did you get to go to Sill's autograph? No? But yeah, we went up to this. This one was another 500 yen per person. Entered here. Could see this dude. This was from above, looking down towards the exit. This was inside. And this is like where I was taking the picture down below before. But yeah, it's very pretty. You smell a lot of incense here. It was very nice. So yeah. And here, more detail of it. Yeah, just lots of pictures from this place. It's very pretty. And then this is more of the street. More of the street, and like all these little things are little shops. Shops or like food places. So yeah, lots and lots. And then I don't know if you guys know, but in the Pokemon anime, Ho-Oh flies over one building like this, and supposedly it's based off of this. So that's kind of how I like try to drag Noble out here, being like, oh, but Pokemon, it relates to anime. But also food. Yeah. I think we were out here for like maybe an hour and a half too. And Noble was complaining about wanting to go back, so we went back. I think we went to the Pokemon Center in Kyoto that day too. But I mean, that was like literally right around the corner. So, headed back this way. Pokemon Center. This here is the Pokemon Center. So we have the little Pikachu. Very cute. And then they have the Ho-Oh, obviously. And a Lugia. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, went back to hotel. And then the next day, it actually rained all day the next day, but I still wanted to get out. So this was Noble's actual break day. He got to have a break, another whole day, not having to go outside, right? Whole day. Just having to go outside to go to the Family Mart to get dinner. That was the only thing. Maybe we went to the Pokemon store. I don't remember. Maybe we did go out to the Pokemon Center just to check if they had his Sylveon. But that was about it. So yeah, I went out here early in the morning again. And this is the bamboo forest. It's very pretty. And I think the rain actually added to it a lot. I got myself a clear umbrella. I couldn't take it with me though, because it was too big for my suitcase. Can't enjoy old email for no really need one. But yeah. Lots and lots of pictures from like the hike. There was a little like river next to it, so I went that way around too just to see what there was. It was really pretty. Stairs leading up to one of the parks that was there. Again, like rain. Lots and lots of rain. Looks so pretty, right? And it's so pretty like during rain. I didn't like I am not mad at it rain. This is me walking to the tram. But here, give me a sec. Oh my god. There we go. Maybe you guys can hear. Yeah, you can hear rain. Hear that rain chant. Yup. Rain. Yeah. It's very cool. There's more. I think I have another video. Yeah. Still lots of people say if you just want pictures without people, I would say go very early. But yeah, I went like around like I think 8 or 9, maybe 10. I don't remember exactly. Yeah. This way I could have gone to the river, but I walked around because Google Maps said no, it doesn't walk that way, but yeah. Yeah, more rain. And then this little pond was like the end of the bamboo forest. Yeah. Teehee. Very pretty. It's a mood. just go at night. Nah. I mean, you can take really pretty pictures there at night because it's actually lit up, like the bottom, but it's fine. But yeah, that was the last day in Kyoto, so I went back to the hotel. Probably dragged Noble out to go to the Family Mart, and that was about it. He had an entire rest day. His third rest day, right? Third one. He went out for 2 hours this day, and then this day was all him. So the next day, we went to Nagoya to see the Studio Ghibli theme park. So we took a Shinkansen, our like actual first Shinkansen from Kyoto all the way over here. Let me see. Oh yeah, during that day when it was rainy outside, third day res, yeah. I like wanted to take pictures, and so it was raining still at night, and this is like I was taking these out the window from our hotel room, but I then also took pictures when we went out to the Family Mart. So these are the ones from the Family Mart. I maybe spent like 5 minutes taking these pictures. But yeah, very pretty. I would hardly sleep if I visit. Yeah, I know. Like, I woke up, like, at 5, 6 every day and then went to bed, like, at 10, 11, depending on how, like, exhausted I was. Like, I went out every single day that I could just walking. And yeah, Noble, every time I was like, oh, my feet hurt, can we, like, sit down for a bit? Noble was like, well, you should have taken the rest day yesterday. And I was like, what does that make a difference? Like, my feet would have still hurt today. Suffolk, every time we saw you in the videos, you were sleeping. No, I was on my phone. I was literally on my phone. Like, one time I fell asleep. All the other times I was, like, on my phone. Doing stuff. Plus, Noble records his videos late at night. So he didn't, like, record until, like, 11, 12 at night. I'm on my feet all the time. My feet always hurt. So yeah, let me find the pictures also. Let me, no, there's a video that's me. But I don't need sound for that, so it's fine. Here we go. Give me 1 sec. Have to exit. Whoops, Japan, edit. Nagoya. So arriving. This is us. Oh, why is that? Okay. The Shinkansen. Our Shinkansen arriving. So it's really cool. My actual first time riding a Shinkansen. You fell asleep during offering me the video. Yeah. Again, I like every day I at least did like 13,000 steps or so. Like my most walked day I did 22,000 steps. And that straight for 3 weeks. I didn't have one day where I was over 10,000 steps. What's a Shinkansen? It's a bullet train. So yeah, first time riding one. Very cool. And yeah, some videos. This is like first exiting the station, so you're first like slow and like driving the same speed as other trains, but then you like pick up on speed. Is the bullet train exactly. So it's really cool. So there was that. That's leaving Kyoto, and then I have another one. Yuyasa!
There was 37 high, there was 37 high, there was 37 high.
Yuyasa, thank you so much for the 23 months of subbing. Thank you. How are you? I don't know what a Shinkansen is. Fake weeb. Don't know what a Shinkansen. Yeah. Fake weeb. More. Going fast. Yeah. There are a lot of barriers like this, so I couldn't like film everything. Rice fields again. There are lots of rice fields. What I think is interesting, like, I didn't see one single cattle farm, but like, I understand rice because they eat a lot of rice. But they also eat a lot of meat because they don't have the space for like vegetables. So vegetables are like, and fruits are very expensive in Japan. So where are they getting all their meat from? Is it like more up north where they have all their like meat farms? Because I didn't see a single like, I don't know. Like I think I saw like a few sheep, I think. But like, where's all the animals? I was like confused. Good, and saw a new Spider-Man. Ooh, nice. I still have to see that. I really want to see it. Imagine if they started watching a lot of anime and don't finish them. Wow. People? No. Yeah, I think it's more north. Ah, okay. So maybe next time I go back to Japan, it's more... They always... Oh my fucking god, Ingrid. Stop it with the dolphin, mate. That's not funny. These people. No, it's not people. You're lying. But yeah. I showed that. There's more. This was like a 30-40 minute Shinkansen ride. So it wasn't too long. In Argentina, we have so much space for cows. Yeah, I just thought it was like very interesting how like I know that like their main thing is rice, which you can see so much of, but like I was just confused on like what they do with like, I don't know, how they get their meat if they're like so meat focused. That was just my questioning. Would you rather eat human or dolphin? Neither. Both are very intelligent animals, so I would not eat either one. Heading to county fair. Ooh, fun. That's fun. Okay, so that was that. We were inside. Well, we arrived, dropped off our luggage at the hotel, and then we went over here. I think it was. Maybe. No, we went to the One Piece store, and then we also went to Pokemon Center. Maybe that was where the Pokemon Center was. Maybe. But here's the Pokemon Center. Very cute. Has the best spread. Is that true? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I personally like Japan's bread and like how soft it is. But if you like more like bread that has like a bite to it, like that's like harder and you want to chew, then I would say yes, German bread. Like the taste of German bread is good. It's just I'd rather have soft bread. Can I use the bathroom? Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. How are you? So yeah, the way I would describe Nagoya is a cleaner, less populated New York City. That's what I would describe it as. Because they have like, at least where we were, it was in the center of the city, and they had a park. It was like an entire strip, and they had like little cafes and like eating places within the street. And yeah, the streets were much wider. It was just Being cleaner than New York, not hard. Yeah, but it's less populated too. I mean, at least where we were, when you went to the train station, it was more populated there, though. But, yeah. They also, underneath all these roads, they have like an underground mall where you can get food. Like there are different food places, you can do shopping, and it basically connected the subway stations underground, but it had all the shopping there, which was really cool. So you didn't really need to be above ground. You could just be underneath, and it would be much faster to get around because you don't have to wait for the lights. Yeah. As I said, it kind of, I don't know, it just reminds me of New York a bit. So yeah. Nice calm place. Yeah, it was. Yeah, basically, as you guys can see, this long strip along here, up here was our hotel. So it's just like a nice long strip of park. We also went over here. We tried miso katsu, which is apparently the dish of Nagoya, so tried that. It was interesting. Like the first bite was kind of weird, but then after that, it like actually tasted kind of good. So I don't know. I would say try it if you haven't tried it yet, but yeah. And then, so that was that day. So we basically went out to the One Piece store, the Pokemon Center, and to get food, and then we went back to the hotel. And then the next day we went out here to the Studio Ghibli Park, and it took us an hour out. We spent like almost 2 hours there and then went an hour back, so that was 4 hours, and our reservation was at 12, so we got back at like 3 and then chilled basically the rest of the day. But here we go. So this is to the train station that will lead us to the expo park. So basically, Studio Ghibli is in the expo park. The expo park was basically built, from my knowledge, what I remember, every year or so, a bunch of like, well, I don't know exactly how often, but companies come together to show their newest innovations, like building techniques, how things work and stuff like that. And so they have a whole area where people build that stuff and have buildings there. So the expo park was used for that. No one, I think, was really using it anymore because like after the event, what are you gonna do with it? So Studio Ghibli now owns a part of it. So it is the entrance to it. There are like some shops along here, like cafes. A Lawson, I think, was there, which is also another convenience store. But yeah, you went over here. There's like over this way, there was like wheelchair access to go down, or like a walking path. But basically, you had to use the elevators to get down to the actual warehouse. Over here, you can like see like them still working on parts of it. I would say if you want to go to see the Studio Ghibli theme park, it is worth it, but I would wait till all the other attractions are up and ready, because they're still working on a few things. So I would just wait, because we only went into the warehouse, which is only one building. And it's like, the lines are really long for stuff, and I don't know. I don't know if it was worth it. It wasn't that expensive, the ticket, but still. I think it was like $15 per person or something like that. But yeah, the entrance, and this was inside. It's like really pretty inside, but again, I don't think it's worth driving out 2 hours. Well, there and then back 2 hours for just that. Especially if you spend there like maybe max 2 hours. But yeah. It's like pretty, all the detail that they have there though. So yeah, they had like a whole room with like old props and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. It was just kind of weird because they just had boxes laying there amongst like these things. So it just seemed like a storage area for like props that they left open for guests to roam through. It's kind of weird. Then they had this street. Looked really pretty. Yeah. It's very pretty, but again, I don't know. Again, main area. Up here, there was a theater. With your ticket, there comes a ticket for the theater. We didn't go in, because we figured it was just gonna be all Japanese. Over here, there's a giant-ass line to get into this section, which has, like, photo ops. We didn't go there. And for one, I felt, like, awful that day. So, I had to go back to the hotel, because I just felt bad. Like, I got really dizzy and stuff, so yeah. There's some photo ops that you can get, like, without saying, like, in one massive line for, like, halls and stuff. So we had this one. Noble took a picture with this. The little, like, paper things that attacked Haku. We saw a Totoro handling a bar. I didn't order any drinks from him, but he's so cute. And I thought this was really pretty. So cute. And then the cat bus. It's very interesting. In like some of these exhibits you weren't able to take pictures, but some things you were able to take pictures of. So very interesting. And then another Spirited Away photo. So they had two booths like these that were like small little rooms that you stood outside and took pictures of, and one that wasn't built yet. Cat bus, yes. And that was basically it for the Studio Ghibli store. They had like their merch store, which they had some exclusive stuff. And they had a cafe, but the cafe line was really long. And I wasn't feeling too well, so yeah. And then they also had, outside of the gift shop, or so still inside the warehouse, they had milk and some bread thingy that you could buy. But yeah, basically once you leave the warehouse, you cannot enter back in. Supposedly there is the house from Totoro, like the one where Mei lives in, but we didn't see it. Plus I just didn't feel it. I just wanted to go back home because I was just done. There was a music hall that was there, but it looked very closed. So as you see, this is the grand warehouse. This is basically where everything is. It's like basically half of this. Because this is an ice skating ring that you can't go in. So it's just basically this half that is just Studio Ghibli. This is the concert hall that they have. And that's about it. I don't remember. I don't even know where the Totoro one is, because I think you had to have a separate reservation for it. They're adding a Kiki delivery service thing there, and then another thing, but I don't know exactly what. So, yeah. Again, if you're thinking about going there, I would say just wait till they have actually more stuff. But yeah, that was basically it. And then the next day, we had to take another Shinkansen up to Tokyo. And this one was like almost 2 hours. We almost missed it. But thankfully we didn't. We could have had snacks, but we didn't have time to get it. So basically, Shinkansen from all the way here up here. Oh yeah, by the way, there are not really hotels over here. This is just like all residential areas, so you have to kind of get your hotel an hour away, by the way. So just a thing to keep in mind if you're ever going to the Studio Ghibli. theme park. I don't know if they're ever gonna like build hotels nearby. It would be nice, but it's kind of stupid that it's all the way out here and all the hotels are in the city. But oh well. But yeah, took the Shinkansen, it basically all this way up, and then went to Tokyo. So here, some video. Again, lots of fields. Have rest of stream. Okay, bye Derpy, hope you have a good one. So yeah, there was that. Another video. It's like the houses are all so nice there. It's very pretty. And then there's like a little part where you drive past the ocean. Our seats were facing Mount Fuji, but it was like very cloudy, as you guys can see, so we only saw the base of it. So maybe the seats towards the ocean would have been better that day, but oh well. I get that it's somewhat medium country, but do you really need that much rice? I mean, they have lots of people, so I kind of get it. And food you're smoking? I don't know. It was just. It was just yeah. How do I describe? Cloudy, so we couldn't see it. So yeah. And our second hotel this time was over here. I would suggest maybe being up here. This was a great hotel. It was like only 5 minutes away from the station. At Ueno Station, it was one stop away from Akihabara. This one was like 10 minutes away from the nearest station. One stop away from Akihabara, but I don't know. I would probably stay in Ueno or otherwise somewhat closer to the center of the city, because it did take like 40 minutes to get out to Shinjuku and Shibuya. So this was near our hotel. Very pretty. So yeah, this part of the river. We had to cross here to get to this station. Let's see. I don't really know how we spend time. I kind of do, but not really. So I'm just gonna show pictures. So we went to Akihabara a lot, like a lot. Because I didn't know what else to do. Like a lot of these days we didn't do anything. Let's see. I kind of like thought about it yesterday, what we did. But yeah, we arrived in Tokyo and then we just went to Akihabara for a bit. The second day we went to Shinjuku to see the Pokemon Center, the One Piece store, and something else. And it was raining a lot, so we were only out for like 3 hours and then spent the rest of the day inside. The third day, I went alone to Harajuku. I also went alone to Shinjuku to go to the national Shinjuku Goya National Garden, which is the garden, at least the Japanese part section, is the garden that is featured in Garden of Words. So I wanted to go there. I was lucky that day was actually Environment Day, so entrance was free. I told Noble I could potentially meet him at the Pokemon Cafe, or if I have time to make it out back to the hotel, I could meet him at the hotel. It was raining too. Yeah, it was raining a lot. Like June is start of rainy season, so just keep that in mind. So I met Noble at the hotel. We went to the Pokemon cafe, met up with Mary and Uni, and yeah, we had a fun time there. And then we went with Uni to Shinjuku to meet more friends at night. So Noble didn't really leave the hotel until like 5. 4 or 5. So it was stuck there. The 4th, we met Mary at Nakano Broadway. And then we went with Mary to Harajuku. We were only out there for a little bit. And then we went back. So didn't even spend all day out. The 5th, it was Mary's stream. We didn't meet him until like 2, I think it was. Because the stream was at 3. And then we went to Shibuya in the evening to get food. And then we just went home. The 6th was Akihabara. Nova wanted to go see some stuff. So that was all on him for not wanting rest. And then the 7th was basically I left in the morning because I wanted a duffel bag because we had so much shit that we needed another bag. Also Subject wanted me to get him another figure, so I went out for that. But I also realized I didn't go to the Pokemon Center at the Sky Tree, so I went out. Well, it's fine, Subject. I had to get a bag anyways because we had so much stuff still. So yeah, went to the Pokemon Center, got my brother a plushie, to this Ghibli store, to the Kirby Cafe, at least just the shop. I couldn't get a reservation, or didn't want a reservation. I went to Akihabara to get the stuff, then went back to the hotel to meet Noble, and then we went to the Narita Skyliner and went to the airport, which was sad. I was very sad. But yeah. So here are pictures of Akihabara. So this is a pachinko place, but like I love how Railgun is like featured all over. And then Akihabara at night. And this is Harajuku though. I don't know why I put this in Akihabara file, but yeah. And then this is Shinjuku, and this is the national park. This was walking over to the thing. What the fuck did I just do? Oh, here we go. So yeah. And then this is, this was featured in Garden of Words. This part here is featured in Garden of Words. See, like, it would have been really cool if I went the day before because it was raining, and in Garden of Words, it's like, there's a lot of rain in it. So, like, I feel like it would have been very perfect, but I got free entrance that day, so I can't really complain. Funny we went to Nakano on June 4th. I was watching a live stream in Osaka. Joel. No. So yeah, also in Garden of Words. Very pretty. I wanted to take a picture of like the little thing where they like talked. Well, it was in Osaka, yeah. So, but there were people sitting there, and like the guy like kept staring at me and judging me, so I felt like awkward wanting to take a picture. So I took one, but like it's literally him and his girl like staring into my camera like all like judgmental, and I was like, okay. I just wanted to take a picture of the nice gazebo. But yeah. I didn't include those pictures, but yeah. So yeah, it was very pretty. I went into that little building, and I waited, I think, an hour for this shot. People kept coming in, but I got it. I finally got it. There was another guy waiting for the exact same shot or a similar shot. I left after an hour after finally getting it. Yeah. And then this here was Shinjuku when I went with Noble on the rainy day. This was at a gachapon place where we tried to get the Mona. And then this one was with uni at night. And we met up with some other people that were cool. And we saw rats! We saw rats! They're so big! And they were only by those trash cans. And like only at that spot. It was so weird. And like the guy over there, he was streaming it on TikTok. It was so funny. Yeah. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. This was inside, they said it's like a newer building and it has like on the bottom floor it's just a bunch of restaurants. And then the top floor was like all gaming, so it's really cool. Did they make a ratatouille? Oh my god. And yeah, this is basically what it looked like. So they even have like a DJ there, and then up top there is like all the like crane games and stuff. It's really cool. And like this is like a place where you also play the One Piece card game. It was very interesting. Here is the Pokemon Cafe. So we got drinks. I love how the Gengar's just chilling there. And then I got this time the ramen. Noble as well. So the Pikachu is made out of egg. This is like jello. Well, the Magikarp was jello and then the rest is just like a fruit salad. These were pretty good too. So yeah. I would recommend this. This is more expensive than the first dish that I had by like 1,000 yen, but both of them are good. So not complaining. Is it worth the price? I don't know. But yeah. Why you normally don't see rats in Japan? Because they eat them. That's... Oh my fucking god, Angry. Stop making up lies. So this is in Shibuya. So we went to another Pokemon Center. This was on the rainy day with Noble. To the One Piece store. Noble wanted a picture with Oda's signature there. So yeah. That Pikachu pig. Where's the crotch shot? I told you I cropped it. Yeah, as you guys can see, raining. I took this picture here. I like this picture a lot. It's very cool. Noble was complaining about me taking too long with the picture. Noble did a lot of complaining towards the end of the trip, like the last 1.5 weeks. So that wasn't that fun, but oh well. I just googled out of words. It looks so boring. Wow. Wow. It's very pretty. It's a very pretty movie. It's by the same guy that does Your Name. No, crotch is gone. But yeah, let's see. So this day we got out of the train station and like our hotel was really close by to the train station, and we walked out to this. Like a businessman came like towards us and he was drenched and I felt so bad for him. And then this is just us walking to the hotel. Like, look at the water. There's so much water. My shoes were just wet. And Noble was saying, oh, the umbrella fucking has holes in it. Give me a sec. Can I pause this? Hello? He was saying the fucking umbrella has holes in it, and that's why he got wet. He literally had the umbrella too far in the front, so like the large drips were like coming down his back. So the next day I gave him like the big umbrella, or the next time I gave him the big umbrella and I took the small one. That looks fun. Does it? Does it? Poor worker had to be outside too. yeah. Makoto Shinkai, yes. This is the day we went with Mary after a stream to Shibuya. We saw Hachiko. From the restaurant that we were in, had this view of the Shibuya crossing. Obviously it's at night, so it's not as busy. Yeah. Walked around for a bit there too. Yeah. Let's see. This is the last day that I went. Oh, this is Harajuku. I don't know why I put that in there either. So, this is the Pokemon Center at the Sky Tree. They also had shiny Rayquaza on the other side coming from the ceiling, which was really cool. Outside of the Sky Tree part, we'll document the and the Sky Tree. So yeah, that was my last day. Well, like, I think I left the hotel maybe around 9 or 10, and our flight, well, we had to leave for our flight at like 2. Well, we had to leave the hotel at 2 because Noble, like, he wanted to pay to stay longer in the hotel, so he only paid up till 2, which worked out anyways because then we got food at the airport and stuff. So yeah, had that, and then this is us leaving Japan. It was so sad. I didn't want to leave. Like, usually I don't get sad leaving countries, but like this time it was like really bad. I was like, I don't want to go. I would want to live here for a bit. I kind of feel like if I wanted to convince Noble to stay a little bit in Japan, I would have to do a price comparison between like cost of living in California compared to Japan. But I wouldn't even know where to start looking. But, oh well. They had this at the airport. So in Terminal 2, they have a Pokemon Center or Pokemon Store. But this is Terminal 1. It's like 10 minutes away by train. And yeah, they had this at our terminal, like on the glass. And there was this too. Easy in Japan, you don't get in debt for health issues. Yeah, true. I mean, you still have to pay for health insurance. It's not free, but yeah. I'm just more or less talking about like housing in general. Like, I know that food for sure is more cheaper. It, like, especially considering that Noble would still make the same amount of money no matter where he would be. So it doesn't matter. So like food costs would be down for sure. And then I don't know about housing. I would have to research housing, but housing is like really hard to research because a lot of places do not allow foreigners to live there. So yeah, that's a bit of an issue. So I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I know he doesn't like the trains. He would rather have his own car in his own garage and just drive somewhere, but like I'm just like, is he just brainwashed by the oil companies? Because like he always complains about like oil price and stuff like that, but then like I don't know. Is it being brainwashed to have like a car to drive everywhere rather than having great ass public transport to get everywhere you need to? Depends on a lot of on the place. Yeah, exactly. At least Noah fits in with all the other old people. Oh my god. This was my last meal in Japan. It was katsudon. It was so good. It was really good. Noble had ramen and he said it was the second best ramen he had all trip. The first one being the one in Osaka. That many places in US you cannot walk. You have to use... Yeah, exactly, you do. Yeah, it's really bad. Like, Even us alone getting to the grocery store, it's like a 7-minute drive to get to the nearest grocery store for us. It's bad. It's because oil companies want you to have a car so you can like spend money on gas. Yeah, this was our airplane. All I'll have to say, Singapore Airlines is supposed to be one of the best airlines, but like I don't know. Our seats were really cramped. My knees touched the front of the seat. That usually does not happen for me. The seats reclined so far back that the back of the person's chair from the person in front of you was basically hovering over your tray table, so you couldn't really use your tray table. On the flight over to Japan, they told the people to sit back up when meals were served, but on the way back, they did not. They just let the people have their seats reclined, which, like, was a little bit of an issue because, like, I kept getting my head smacked when I was trying to eat because the girl in front of me kept, like, bouncing back into her chair when she was done eating one bite. Yeah. I don't know. And then, like, the main thing was we, on both the flight over there and back, both times they ran out of one of the dinner meals. So we didn't even have an option to choose what we wanted. So that was kind of, like, weird. But, yeah. Car companies are the ones that bought the local railways in LA and shut down. Yeah, exactly. And then Elon Musk kind of did the same thing now with the... we were supposed to get a bullet train, kind of similar thing in California, connecting Sacramento with LA and San Fran with LA. But Elon Musk bought those plans and then started his like Hyperloop thing or whatever, his Tesla thing, like that thing. I mean, there was already an issue with the bullet train kind of thing because like the farmers were complaining that it was going through their land or like through their area, and they wanted like to have stations at their area to bring in tourists. But like, who the fuck is gonna go to the middle of California and want to do tourism there? Like, it makes no fucking sense. But they were like, oh yeah, for sure people want to be here. And I was like, no. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's not happening anymore, apparently, so... yeah, it would have been nice having a bullet train. I wouldn't have to drive up for every single con in Northern California, but oh well. This is still going on, but that's just good old incompetence by the government. Yeah. I mean, don't they want to expand the metro lines in California for, like, the Olympics or something like that? Like, they want to, like, make it better, but, like, And here, our trains are destroyed by truck corporations. Damn! Wow. That's bad. There are good reasons why some of that has happened actually. Mostly has to do with them not wanting to cut through mountains. Ah, okay. Metro is being expanded big time. Okay. The Olympics? Yeah, we're gonna have Olympics here. I don't know when LA is gonna have the Olympics. Let me see. Los Angeles Olympics. Oh, apparently next year? No. Is it next year? No, 2028. No, Los Angeles bids for 2024. Summer Olympics and Summer Paralympics. Ultimately awarded to the city. Ah, okay, no, they're ultimately awarded for 2028. Okay. Directly from LA to San Francisco is really difficult because of divine. Yeah. It's 2028, 2020 was last one. World Cup is in 2026. Oh, we have the World Cup here too? We do, damn! Interesting. How far in advance can you buy tickets? Just a random question. Expect that it was done in 2021, so yeah, in 2024 is the next game. Which World Cup? FIFA World Cup. Canada, Mexico, and US are hosting in it jointly. Oh, okay. One of the most popular games in the world. LA is one of the cities that most likely to host the finale. Ooh, that would be cool. Yeah, it's North America World Cup. FIFA, yes. I guess FIFA was too sad of how awful Mexico has performed. Oh my god. But yeah. That's basically all I have to talk about. My voice is kind of like destroying me. So I don't think I'm gonna play Mario Kart today because my voice is like going to trash. It's an exactly stable economy. Yeah, but I mean, like Brazil had a bunch of like issues too, and they still hosted the FIFA Cup. Like they basically destroyed a bunch of people's homes just to build the fucking stadium and the things around it, and like now it's just empty there. So much corruption. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do Mario Kart today. Maybe later once I've like had more to drink or like actual food like in the Discord. But like my voice is dying slowly. I can feel my throat being all dry from all the talking. So yeah. Let's see. A certain someone is still streaming. Okay, so do we raid Sky or do we raid Noble? Who do we raid, chat? We have two people that we can raid. In game MVC, yes, probably Sky. Okay. Cause I also don't know how long Noble is gonna stream for. Yeah, I've raided Noble many times. Sky deserves it. Let me see. Where is the raid button? Raid channel, Sky, and start. So, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you guys for all the subs, for all the bits, and the follows, and for joining me. And yeah, I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, maybe I'll be in the Discord. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!